Do you get an idea now of what I mean to say?
Yeah, no, I think you're making yourself very clear. I mean,
how dare he say, for example, that the Antichrist is already
much good that has been done both in this country and around the world.
But if you reduce religion to social work, well, so does USAID produce.
Religion has been perverted, and how it is being used for destruction, and how it has been unproductive.
It is innately irrational.
Well, I disagree with that. That's a certain intellectual snobbiness, perhaps, on your part. But let me just say this. But religion
that could well be right.
Religion also.
You for saying it about your own son, my God.
Let's move on.
Yes, let's. What next? Cutting the labia of little girls. At least Judaism doesn't do that.
This is a question.
What if a Muslim was to say to you just now, my little girl cried more at her first haircut than when I cut off her clitoris? What would you think of me if I was to say such a disgusting thing?
Well,
remember, we are not talking about detail here. We're talking about whether religion makes people behave better or not.
Let's give the rabbi a chance. I wanted to move on, but let's give the rabbi a chance to respond to what you said, because it got pretty personal here. So.
And that, for whatever reason that this has become an issue for you, I just think is excessive.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
That I'm more personally...
There's an undertone of innuendo to this. Let's bring it on.
No, there's no innuendo there. What I'm saying is,
sure,
you know, I've lived through this personally, and...
You've inflicted it, is what you're saying.
I've been what?
You've inflicted it, or officiated at it, is what you're saying, isn't it?
Well, officiated, yes. Inflicted, no. Forget Maimonides. Maimonides has his hang-ups about that.
I should forget Maimonides. Since when do you say that? It is said of Orthodox Jews that they may do that.
All right, gentlemen, I'm sorry to break this up.
That's a Reformed Jewish rumor about Orthodox.
We have a lot of questions from the audience, and I want to give others a chance.
Genital mutilation is no joke.
I'm not broadcasting only piety. I did my radio show, and now we're having you on here to talk about your view, very different than what else the media is saying.
You're having me on and then arguing that maybe it's bad taste to have me on. I don't think
well,
that's
I thought it was a legitimate question, because I think people are wondering.
Yeah, well, I've answered it. I've answered the question.
You have, and I will now move on to round three, now that you've answered that question.
What you wrote was crude and mean and hateful. That's what I said.
You took up all the time for my answer with your long, rather unlettered question. Jerry Falwell made a career out of sponsoring dislike and superstition.
I would really hope that people like Christopher would show the decency and respect to let those people mourn and remember his memory without being torn down and attacked.
Tell it to your business partner.
Good try, Christopher.
Tell it to your friend, and I'll miss it. When we come back, Tyler gets too close to a dancing ball.
Which will probably
you're betting against us.
No, I think they're going to end up by destroying civilization. I've long thought so.
Well, of course, you may be right,
but not
because it can be a single catastrophe.
Because that's my big disagreement with Professor Dawkins, is that I think it's us plus the 82nd Airborne and the 101st who are the real fighters. A man who we missed the chance to kill, and who's now going around blinding...
hurt feelings, it's about strategic discourse. The people that we see on TV are... well, hold on, Christopher. The people that we see on TV...
Well, the Ayatollah Khomeini did not consider you as equal, let's say.
No one is asking the Danish government to stifle expression. But freedom of expression, hold on, Christopher, freedom of expression and respond, that is the same freedom of speech that you're saying. The Muslims around the world...
Without your permission, with your interruption, that's what I'm doing now.
Okay, gentlemen, time out here for a second.
For peace, forward for an ability to see each other, they have a responsibility to act. It is not babble, Christopher Hitchens.
More babble. This is not the first time.
These types of cartoons...
This isn't the first time.
These types of
the
cartoons...
religious leader of Islam called for the murder
to try to release Jill Carroll. We have done the same with Margaret Hassan. We engage continuously. We were against the Taliban.
Wait a minute. I want to jump in here for both of you.
Christopher, hang on.
Christopher, I got to jump in here.
Our human rights don't come from government. They
doesn't make it. So you're being very stubborn. This does not say Christian at any point. It doesn't even imply it. The person.
If we're talking about historical accuracy, let's be forthright. You know it, and I know it.
Yeah, but the pilgrims are not the founders, my dear sir.
Christopher, I'm not going to let you bogart me. Let me just say this: that you're
just going to keep talking.
I believe that you have. Listen.
From the Congregationalists of Jamboree, Connecticut, who didn't consider them to be real Americans.
Christopher, can I have a word in edgewise?
By all means.
There is a separate...
He's lied. He's lied to the European Union about his nuclear program.
But you know that a lot
he says he believes the Messiah is about to come back.
All right.
This is not secularism, Dinesh, and it's quite false to say. And it's actually, there's an insinuation in it that I reject and resent. It's quite false to say that these are the outcomes of secular politics. Thank you.
When I first came to America, I went...
Wouldn't you say? It's supposed to be a question.
You notice that in his statement, Christopher Hitchens zoomed in on one issue, Hitler and the Nazis, leaving untouched, indeed unmentioned, the scourges of communism. He didn't not only mention... Hold on, don't jump in, it's my time. This is the atheist conception of fairness. We hug the public square completely to ourselves and drive all the religions out.
Who's looking for a war here?
So does George Bush, by the way.
President Bush has said...
That's not facetious.
That's not facetious. Your audience, which will clap apparently anything, is frivolous.
I'm just saying...